ways of love. I never thought it could feel so good, yet hurt so much. Learning the ways of love. Learning the ways.
Hello, love junkies. It's been a while. I just wanted to come on and just drop a little word about love. Of course, my favorite subject. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about the ways of love, because love has a way, and God is love. Love has a way. Love makes a way, right? And one of the ways of love is humility. And we don't hear that too often these days, because in our connections with one another, in our relationships with one another, we tend to be prideful. I mean, you hear a lot about me these days, right? I deserve to have a partner who loves me, right? I deserve to have someone who thinks about me and cares about me and loves me and challenges me and helps me to grow. And I deserve, right? Because so many of us have been doing what? Settling for less? Not really. All of us have been trying to figure out how to love people just like ourselves, just as flawed as our own selves. And so one of the ways of love is humility. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing connection being so fragmented these days, so broken, so very broken. And in our separation, men and women are building themselves up in pride, calling it self-love, when pride has no place whatsoever in real love. Love has a way, and love's way is humility. It is laying down the power of myself in order to value not just me, but the connection that we have with one another. I value our connection more than I value myself. That is love. Because you can either be right or you can be in love, but you cannot be both. Because that right to be right will chip away and chip away and chip away at your connection until there's absolutely nothing left. Humility is not, I'm so low and I'm just so nothing and you're just everything. That's not humility. Humility is a willful laying down of power in order to allow someone else to rise. It's the willing doing of it. It's not the, doormat type of situation. I guess a good example would be one of the common arguments that come up between, couples is leaving things around the house. One person has a preference to pick it up whenever they choose, and another person has a preference to have it done like immediately. And if I ask you to do it, I mean like I want it done that absolute second, not when you feel like it later on, 2 days later, 3 days later. I don't want to continue to look at it. So by the time I'm telling you, I expect you to handle it. That's usually how the other partner is. Now that person is probably, we're going to call that the prideful person in this relationship, because they are valuing what it is they want and what they desire over the connection, over the other person, over everything. In that moment, all that matters is that person and their desire to get what it is they want. Yes, it is right. If you have a partner that's throwing stuff all over the floor and whatnot, they're messy, they're not valuing the space, they're being irritating and inconsiderate in the relationship. True. All of those things are true. All of those things are right. But is it worth continuing to nitpick and put pressure and pursue with anger, irritability, and bitterness and pettiness just to have your way? It is better. Love's way is to just surrender your right to be right. Just let it go. And for the sake of connection, instead of repeating yourself for the 100th time to a partner who obviously does not value that action as much as you do, to just let it go. I mean, pick it up yourself. When somebody is surrendering to you over and over and over on something that you demand that they do, they're not doing it for their own sake. It's not something that bothers them. They're doing it for your sake. It's their humility to surrender their power to do what they want in order for you to get what you want, right? And so it's not something, however, that is organic to them. They're not doing it because they care about it. They're doing it because you care about it. And so instead of repeating yourself for the 100th time over the same issue, allowing pettiness to chip away at your connection, just pick it up. Humble yourself and allow yourself to surrender your right to be right, to value the connection. It seems like something small, picking up a sock off the floor, really. It's not small. See, what starts out small is a small thing is picking up a sock off a floor, turns into argument after argument, turns into feelings of invalidation and devaluing. You don't value me. You don't respect anything I have to say. You don't respect how I feel. You devalue me. What was a sock has all of a sudden turned into you don't love me. And those are very strong and powerful meanings off of something so simple as a sock on the floor. You see, it starts out real small, real little. But when we don't surrender, when we don't humble ourselves in the littlest of things and surrender our right to be right, we allow pride to chip away at our connection with one another until there is absolutely nothing left. And then it turns into, I'm not happy. I want a divorce. Really? I just left a sock on the floor and now all of a sudden I don't love you and you want a divorce. Like, how did we get here? You know, it seems ludicrous when I put it that way, but it's always the little foxes. It's always the little things that turn into bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger things when we don't get a hold of them. And in order to get a hold of things like that on a daily basis within your relationships, humility is key. I have to be more invested in creating really great times with my partner and with my friend than I am in creating drama, upset, arguments, and disagreements. I have to commit myself to be more invested in creating those great memories. Where instead of arguing with him about picking up a sock, I pick that sock up and put it on the side. I pet the back of his head and I tell him how beautiful he is and how thankful to God I am that he has given me such a gorgeous man to be with. That is a whole lot better of a memory and an experience to have with my husband or my partner or my wife than it would be to have an argument about how many times I tell you to pick that sock up off the floor. Why don't you ever listen to anything I tell you? You don't respect me. You don't respect anything I have to say. You don't even care about me. I got to tell you 25,000 times to pick a sock up off the freaking floor. How come you act like you can't see it? You see it there. I see it there. It's been sitting there for a week. I left it there just to see if you pick it up. Knowing good and daggone well, ain't nobody picking up that sock because it's not organic to them. It's what you want. And yes, you're right that they're being disrespectful. Yes, you're right that they're showing disrespect and devalue for a common space in the home. Yes, you're right. But do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Do you want to be right or do you want to have that partner, that girlfriend, that boyfriend? Do you want to be right or do you want to be in love? You cannot have both sometimes. You just can't. Humility is key, not just in, these more intimate relationships, but every relationship. Humility is love's way, and love wins. I'll see you guys next time. Love you.